Welcome to another episode of the Sipping and Tripping podcast, where we connect with amazing people. Today's topic is love, family, and success. I am your host, Desmond Black, and the person that's sipping and tripping with me today is a book author, a podcaster, and the owner of his own clothing line. He is an assistant coach for the Chester Biddy League. He is none other than Mr. Breon Nichols. How you doing today?
I'm all right, man. What's going on, man? It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to be the wingman. You know what I'm
The
saying?
wingman. Yeah, I hear that. I hear
Yeah.
that. So I'm not sure if you watch any of my other episodes before, but on this platform, I like to conversate, educate, and entertain. So without further ado, we're just gonna jump into some questions, so me
All
and the
right.
audience can get to know you a little bit more.
All right.
So tell the viewers and the listeners about your podcast and what made you start it.
Oh man. Well, the name of my podcast is called KWU, and it all started from Facebook Live. Believe it or not, that's how I started. It was me and one of my sisters at first, and then it became me for a while. Then it became me and some of my friends, and now it's just me. Uh,
Yeah.
One of my friends had introduced me to StreamYard. So once I started doing it from StreamYard, I seen that it had different outlets. So I,
Mm,
I like StreamYard now too. You know?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, StreamYard is what I use as well. Now I
Mhm.
was curious. Well, I ain't gonna say was. I still am curious about Riverside. I haven't experimented with it yet, but I looked into it, and it's a lot of features on there that's very interesting, and a lot of
Mm.
things that I like. Like typically for me, I write my outlines. I type them up, then I print them out, and I just go
Mhm.
off of that. Well, on Riverside, I noticed that you can have your whole outline on the screen. So instead of looking off camera, you're looking at the camera because it's you can read it off camera and stuff. So that's one of the benefits and one of the plus that I liked on there. And also, like while you live, they you can edit it while it's live. That's also dope. And then StreamYard don't offer that, but I'm content with StreamYard at the moment. So maybe in a couple months I'll experiment with Riverside and see which one's a better fit, or maybe I'll just use both of them. Who knows?
Most definitely.
But so how do you go about finding your guests?
Oh wow. Well, my platform is open like my Facebook is, and they see it on Facebook. And I'm also in some groups too, and I like to share my stuff too. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
not just that, I'm on all like platforms. I'm on YouTube. You can find me on Twitch. Like that's a good platform if you heard of Twitch before. Instagram, TikTok. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right now I just got the YouTube, but when I do these, I also stream live on Facebook. But I will be extracting the audio portion of it, and I will be putting that on Spotify because I know a lot of people go to the gym or they might be driving and they can't look at their phone at the visual. So some people just like Spotify. So I will be putting it on there, and I also believe that I'll make an Instagram just specifically for the podcast, right?
Right.
Because on my YouTube, I use that for my cooking because I also cook. I'm a chef, and I'm looking
Nice.
to be my own small business owner and working with the food truck.
Yeah.
So, if my YouTube is just for the food truck business and also the podcast. So that's what I do. Um,
Okay.
so where were you born and where did you grow up?
Well, folks that know me, that I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania. I grew up in Chester, Pennsylvania too, as well. I mean, 610. Shout out, Chester. Yep.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So you still live in Pennsylvania or no?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay,
I'm.
okay. I don't know
Yeah,
why
I'm
I thought
still
you was
here.
from like I don't know why I thought you was from like the Maryland, DC area. I thought I heard you say that on the podcast before.
Nah, no. Wow.
Okay.
Hey, look, man, I might be going down that end now. Look, you said that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because I mean I've been to Pennsylvania plenty of times, but like I know me and my family, man. We started like 2 years ago. We said every year we would take 2 trips until we touch down to every 50 state, right? So 2 years ago we went to Rhode Island, Connecticut. This year
Mm.
this year I'm going. I think I'm gonna go to Tennessee in June, and then I think in like August I'll do Pennsylvania. Because like I said, I've been there, but like as a family, taking my kids and stuff like that, and exploring the state, I haven't done that. So yeah, I think I'll do that. And then next year, I'm definitely going to do Texas. I'm going to Texas and something else. I'm not sure what, but that's what's up, man. I definitely enjoy traveling and trying different foods and seeing different cultures and different atmospheres. So
Mm,
that's what kind of energy I'm on right now. Um,
I heard that.
do you do you have any siblings, like brothers and sisters?
I do have brothers. I do have siblings. I have sisters as well. You know, I'm one of the young ones. You know what I'm saying? And I know that they take me serious. I take them serious as well. So
Okay. So you one of how many?
I'm one of six.
Oh, one of six. Okay, that's not too terrible, but I can't imagine having six.
Nah.
I mean, right now I got four,
Oh,
and they're
look.
they're a
Okay.
handful. You got kids?
Nah, I have no kids at
Oh,
all.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah. That's a different world when you have kids. I remember when I didn't have kids and I wanted kids. Now that I got kids, I'm like, Lord have mercy, bro. They're a handful, man. I'm
Right.
like, I swear, I think my three boys got ADHD. I know one of them got diagnosed, but the other ones, shit,
Hmm.
they drive me up a wall. And my daughter, she's so calm, and I hope she stay that way. So, I
Right.
finally got a
Right.
girl, man, and my mom was happy about that. It's crazy. My mom always wanted me to have a daughter. I got one, and she favors one of the boys. I'm like, what part
Oh,
of the game is that? See, wow.
right. I heard that. I heard
So,
that.
what do you do for a living?
But right now, I do tell. You know what I'm saying? I was a teacher assistant, but right now I do tell. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And
right,
it's
right.
good. You know what I'm saying? It pay
So
the bills.
that's what's up. So you said you was a teacher assistant, like so in
I
the
was a
school or something.
Yeah, I was a teacher assistant in the school district. I was a teacher at a private school as well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so you had to work with
Yep.
kids. So I mean, that's a lot of different personalities.
I work with kids. I work with teenagers. You know, I work with some young adults too. So that's a lot of personalities. But I had the patience for it. I still got the patience for it too, though. So I thank
Oh,
God
that's
for that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
You
that's
know,
always a plus because a lot of people don't have patience, man. And patience is key. If you think about it, anything in life, if you want to be successful, you got to have that patience, man. And a lot of people they just ain't got it. They get real
right?
irritable, they get real mad, but it's not the way to go. Um,
Mm.
are you religious?
I am a believer of Christ.
A believer.
I
Okay.
have
See, I
yes.
I think I I think that's the way of the world right now. Because I've been asking that a lot of my guests, and most 9 times out of 10, they be like, I'm not religious. I'm spiritual, right? So you say you're a believer in Christ. So I guess
I'm
in
a
essence,
believer.
you're saying you're spiritual, right? So like, I think that's like the new wave people on.
I won't say me like that's as though that's their way, that's the way of the world. You know what I'm saying? When I say that I'm a believer of Christ, you know what I'm saying? I believe that it's the relationship, you know what I'm saying, that makes me great with him. You know what I'm saying? That
Right.
helps me understand. So
I got you. All right. So
yeah.
what do you like to do in your spare time?
Wow, on my spare time. Phew, I like to write. You know what I'm saying? I like to play basketball. If I'm not playing basketball, I like to coach our boys. You know, this was my first year with them because one of my friends had got in contact with me. He asked me that I wanted to be an assistant coach with me. So when he came
Mm,
to me, I said, "Oh, you want me to be? You want me to do this with you?" He said, "Yeah, come on." I said, give me like a day or two to think about it. You know what I'm saying? So I got back with him the next day, and I said, yeah, I'm down. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
right, 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 right. So the Chester Biddy League that's basketball.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, that's what's up. And what's the age group for the people in that league?
Oh well, my boys they were 11 and 15.
Okay. All right, they nice.
Mine's good. Yeah, they is actually good. Truth be told, they actually good. Mhm.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Like it's crazy. Like I mean, I ain't had the time and stuff, but like I considered being like a coach for like tackle football because my kids they do football. So my oldest, this will be his third year doing tackle football. Right now he's doing the flag, right? So as soon as flag over, it's back to tackle.
Okay.
Man, I thought about being a coach, but because I play football in school, and it's like I just I know things and I see things, and when I watch them play, I'll be looking at the coaches like, dang, like why you should have them working on this, or why you should try this, and I just don't be getting it. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like I can make the team better than what they are.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So, all right. So this first segment I want to get into is focused on love, right? So the first question I'm gonna
Hmm.
ask you is is love a choice or is love a feeling?
Wow. Love is definitely a choice. You know what I'm saying, and when I say that it's a choice, I feel as though that love begins with you. You know what I'm saying? How can you love somebody if you can't love yourself? You know what I'm saying? First, you have to remain focused on you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And you know what I'm saying? And as far as choice, and what was the next one? It was choice and what else?
I say, is love a choice or is it a feeling?
You know, as far as the feeling, wow, like we all like that feeling to be loved. You know what I'm saying? That touch. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the presence physically. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that could go both ways, but it's it's a choice because, like I said, it starts with you.
Right.
You
So
know?
I so it sounds like what you're saying is like if you don't choose to love yourself, you can't really choose. I mean, you can't really love nobody else, right? So, all right. So see, that's so love is one of those topics. Is very like difficult because it's like when no matter who you ask them for the definition of love, it's always going to be different. It's never going to be the same, right? So love is one of
Right.
those difficult things to answer. So it's you feel something, but you can't put your finger on it. You can't pinpoint exactly what love is. Um, so yeah, so like ha- with love being a choice, man. I think. See, I don't know. I don't know if I see. I kind of understand where you're coming from, but it's like you. Sometimes people mentally say they don't want to love somebody, but they have this tremendous feeling for them, right? So it makes me
Right.
feel like maybe it is a feeling, right? It's one of those things. It's the unknown. It's the unseen. Like you can't really
Hmm.
break it down. You can't really dissect it, but you it's like it's a feeling, right? And it's like you now sure you can choose to love somebody. Well, sometimes in more cases, yeah, you do choose to love somebody, but sometimes you don't choose. It's just that feeling just comes over you, right? Like I was just saying this
It's
yesterday.
natural.
Like it's
Hmm.
been a lot of people in my life that like I didn't look at like that, but their personality was so radiant that like it drew me to them.
Hmm.
And but I look
Okay.
at them and I'm like, oh, that's not my ideal chick to be with, right? And so I
Hmm.
mean, for me, I'm gonna have to say it's a feeling. It's more of a feeling for me,
Hmm.
you know.
Okay.
So do you think that true love can last forever, or do you think love fades after a while?
I believe that true love lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because you have to date your best friend. You and not just date your best friend, but you have to be creative. You know what I'm saying? And
Right,
I've seen that done. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because I'm patiently waiting on mine, on my
right,
forever. You know what I'm saying? And like I
right,
said, you had to be creative every day. You know what I'm saying?
right.
From what I seen from my mom and my dad's. Yeah, I mean, it's an ongoing thing. You know what I'm saying?
So basically,
Yeah.
what you're saying is, you know, you got to be creative to keep that fire lit, to keep that spark going.
I I believe so because I feel as though if that spark like just fades, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a little bit hard for some to get it back.
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right.
saying?
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that because like I said, I was just saying this yesterday as well. Like when you want things to work, right? Like you have to put in that work. You gotta put, you gotta give it your all. And you gotta always look for things to spice it up. You gotta always look to entertain the other, right? I think a relationship or whenever it's true love, because it don't have to be a relationship like a couple. It could be like with family or a friend or something like
Hmm.
that. Like in order to keep the momentum, you always gotta challenge each other, right? Now, if we talk
Yeah,
about like a relationship, like what you as a couple, when you challenge that person, like, oh, I love you more than you love me, and that person say the same thing to you, that's those are the little things that keep it going because you're making a game out of it, right? And that's to me that's
yeah.
beautiful. That's love. Um,
Mm.
okay, let me ask you this: is it better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all?
Wow. It's better to wow. It's better to love and loss.
Than to never have loved at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because soon as you said that, I had to think about that. Like nobody never asked me these questions before about love.
Right, right,
You know
right,
what I'm saying? But it's better to love and loss than to yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
I I say that you because you know what could have but you know what's been prepared for next. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. Love loss, yeah, love and loss. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah, because like for me, it's like when you love and you've lost that love or you love somebody and then that person walks out of your life, it kind of like grounds you, right? It makes you who you are. It makes you stronger.
Hmm.
It prepares you to
Exactly.
deal with like it prepares you to deal with that setback or that heartache, right?
Hmm.
So that's like trials and tribulations, and just like anything else in life, we got to help go through them setbacks. We have to go through the fire. We got to face adversity because if not,
Hmm.
when it do hit us, we don't know how to act. We don't know how to react. We can go into a
Exactly.
deep downward spiral, and that's never good. That's not healthy. So to have love and have lost that love, I definitely think that's vital. I think that's should stand out more than just somebody that just experienced love, right? Because
Right.
again, if you don't put that work in, that love you're going to lose that love anyway. So like you have to have that balance. You have to love and then lose love to understand love for what it really is. Right.
Mm.
So, all right. So now this goes back to one of the things I said before when I was like, love is one of those things that's very hard to dissect and break down. But I say that to say this. So, by your definition or your standards, or for you, like, what is the meaning of love for you?
Oh man, love is an action. You know what I'm saying? Because when we talk about love, love can go so many ways, and not just in a relationship. You know what I'm saying? But love for your friend. You know the bond, the
Right.
honesty. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though if you could be honest with me about anything, oh, that's love already. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like that's my so that's my definition of love.
So, all right, and sticking with the love thing, right? Like, who are the core people that you feel like that you love, like your main people in your circle that you love?
My main people. Look, my main people. Yeah, I mean, of course, I'm always gonna say God, uh, my parents, my siblings, uh, wow, my family, uh, my boys that I coach. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right.
Me, look, me.
See
You
that's
know,
key. I
me,
like that you said that because
me,
the first person somebody should love is themselves, right? Because like
yeah,
I said
me,
before, if you don't know how to love yourself, how can you love somebody else? So that was
yeah,
key. I like that. So
yeah.
I got a good one because this is a good a debate question that I ask a lot of people, and it's crazy
Okay.
how many different responses you get, right? But in your
Hmm.
opinion, do you think it's possible to love a friend more than a family member?
I believe so. You know what I'm saying? And I have friends that became family. You know what I'm saying? And we
Right,
became tight. You know what I'm saying? And I know that I could go to this person or these people for anything, vice versa with me. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because they're kids, they'll call me uncle, you know what I'm saying? Or I'll call them my nieces and my nephews or my god kids. You know what I'm saying?
right.
So yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah. So I often tell people, yeah, I feel like it's you can love friends more than family members because sometimes just because they family by blood, that don't mean they're there for you, right? So for me,
Exactly.
family it's deeper than just blood, right? For me, it's like you have to have that connection, that bond, and that support system. So everybody has family, but like, what good is having them as family if when you need somebody to call because you're down and out and they're not there, or you need a place to
Mm,
stay because you're down and out and they're not there, or they always criticizing or trying to belittle you or trying to step on your name or put you down. What good is that, right? And then you have a friend that checks all the boxes. They're there when you need an ear. They're there when you need a shoulder. They're there when you need some money in your pocket. They're there when you need shelter, when you
hmm
need food. So yeah, that when you get that, because everybody in this world want to feel appreciated, right? So when somebody comes along, they make you feel appreciated and valued and loved like that. Yes, I feel like you can love a friend more than a family member. And a lot of people debate me on that and they say, no, it's not possible. But I'm like, how?
hmm
Like, what if you have family members that they don't never pick up the phone and talk to you and you call them, they don't answer?
Right.
How can you sit there and say you
Exactly.
love them
Exactly.
more than somebody that's there for you? Um, so do you think that abused people could ever truly grow to love somebody?
I believe. All right. Far as Yami abuse, it's all types of Yami abuse. So God meet me somewhere with Yami abuse. So when you said abuse, what do you mean?
Okay, like mentally abused, right? Like they're always
Okay.
criticizing. Like you really go out your way. Like a lot of people in their circle or their family members, they always tell them they not shit. They never gonna be shit. Do you think
Hmm.
growing up with that for so many years as a child, do you think a person like that could ever truly love somebody, or do you think that that abuse is always going to hinder them and haunt them?
I don't believe that it's going to haunt them. I don't believe it's going to hinder them, but I believe that they should seek help. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with seeking help or therapy. You know what I'm saying? And I say
Right,
that because a lot of folks in today's society don't go to therapy. Yeah, I mean, and especially us. You know what I'm saying? We don't go to therapy.
right,
You know what I'm saying? That's how. That's what society taught us. You know,
right,
just leave stuff. You know what I'm saying? Leave the rug. But when you put stuff, yeah, I mean, underneath the rug for so long, yeah, I mean, like dirt. You know what I'm saying? Or any type of mess, it smells. Yeah, I mean, after a while, it stinks. You know what I'm saying? So
right,
you may want to clean that right away before you start putting stuff. Yeah, I mean, underneath that rug. You
right,
know what I'm saying? And I believe that they could change. And then I say that because one thing that I realized in life that everybody's not a suspect. Everybody's not out to get you.
right,
And I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Do you still have to protect yourself? Oh yeah, most definitely. But everybody's not a suspect. Just be
right.
wise and mindful. That's all.
So, do you think that love makes sense, or you think love is it's what's the word I'm looking for? Do you think that it's strange? Do you think it's one of those weird things of life?
Love don't make sense.
You said
You,
don't?
you, you know, nah. Well, love do make sense. Sorry about that. Love do make sense. You know what I'm saying, and I say that you know because somebody may need that demonstration of love. Somebody may need to see that love. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Because and I say that because you know, Roy, you we don't know who's watching us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And somebody can have like a bad day and they see me or you know what I'm saying? And we showed them some type of affection, you know what I'm saying? Like a hand shake or just to sit
Right.
down and talk or just buy them like some food or something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a demonstration of love right there. Just giving, you know, just having a will to give,
Right. So
you
for me,
know?
I think the concept of love makes sense, right? But like the
Mm,
actual word, like when you define it
mhm,
in the Merriam-Webster dictionary, like I think the word, or by definition, I don't think it makes sense. I think it's just it's one of those things where it's always going to be confusion. But the concept
right.
of what love is, I think makes sense, right? You like I said, it's hard to go against the word love because it's like we all have this feeling that we don't know what it is. We can't really describe it, but we know it's there. And our mind and our heart are they're in sync with each other. And it's like it draws you to somebody. It's like we have these feelings and this emotional attachment to people. So
Mm,
so we're groomed and we're programmed to believe that's what love is. So, like I said, when you try to dissect it, it's very confusing. So it don't
mm,
make sense in that aspect. But the whole concept of love, it makes sense, right? But then again, when you're in a relationship, and some people will argue that it don't make sense because when you're in a relationship, sometimes you go through ups and downs, you go through heartaches, and some people might look at it like, well, if love is love and love is supposed to be so pure, and love is supposed to be everything, why do I have these setbacks?
mm.
Why do I got to deal with the hurt, right? And
Wow.
I think that comes from because we have other emotions as well. So we might love somebody, right? And people, places, and things, right? If one of those is out of order or out of sync, it disrupts the flow of things, right? It's like the ripple effect. The water is calm, right? When you skip a rock on it, now you got all these ripples. So it
Hmm.
changes the whole dynamic of things. And I think that's how love is, right? Because the ripples are the other emotions that we're attached to. And I think that's why, even though we may love somebody, I think that because of the ripple effect, because of these other circumstances or emotions, that makes us act irrationally or unbeknown to ourselves, right? That's the best way I could put that.
I heard that.
Now, do you think love could be faked or measured?
Measure. And you may ask yourself that I know a lot of folks may ask themselves, why measure? You know what I'm saying? And I say that because you guys see how far folks will go for for you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
you guys see who is who. You know what I'm saying? And when I heard love is fit, you know what I'm saying? Like that gave me like just like a time thing, like fit. You know what I'm saying? Like how can love fit when it's an ongoing process? You know what I'm saying?
right,
That's just how that's how my mind thinks.
right.
You
So,
feel me?
so yeah. So this thing, I think. So again, like love is very confusing, right? So when I ask, can love be faked, right? Um, that's somebody playing mind tricks on somebody or manipulating, right? That's somebody just mind fucking you, right?
Oh,
It's no such
fake,
thing. I don't
fake,
because how
fake.
can love be
Okay.
fake, right? Yeah, yeah. So it's like, how can love be
Oh, okay.
fake? I think you can be persuasive and make
That's a
somebody
good point.
believe that you love them, but in all actuality, you're manipulating them, right? So, can love be fake?
Okay.
Nah, I
Fake.
don't think so. I think it's a mindset, right? Now, as
I don't
far as
think
can
love
love be,
could be fake.
go ahead. Yeah, me either. Yeah, it's just yeah. Because how do you fake love? Like that's being deceitful. If you have somebody believing you love them and you don't,
I was about
that's
to
being
say that.
deceitful.
That's being deceitful. Yes, very.
Now, can love be
Mm.
measured? That's the part two of that question. Can love be measured? Again, that's hard because I almost wanted to say yeah, but like I feel like love should be love, right? It's I don't think there's different degrees of love. I think if
Nah.
you love somebody or you love something, then that's what it is. I don't think there's different levels. Like, oh, I love you a 5 out of 10. I don't think that's possible, right? Because if you love, then
Mm.
love is love. Love comes from the heart. So if you have that emotional attachment to something or somebody, then you love them. It shouldn't be I love you a
Right.
little bit or I love you a lot. Like, what is that? Like, how do you break that down? How do you determine what's a lot and what's a little, right? So
Hmm.
it is crazy because that's one question in a lot of relationships people ask. Well, how much do you love me? See,
Mm.
I think that
Yeah.
question is I think that question itself is trickery. It's like I think when people say, "How much do you love me?" I think that's them wanting something. They got like an ulterior motive or something
Oh,
for it.
yeah.
They might that's trying to, oh, if you love me a lot, then you would do whatever I ask. Right. I think that's where that question comes from. But love, I don't think you can
Mhm.
measure love. I think love is singular. Love is one thing.
Right.
Um,
That's good.
so is love something you build in a relationship, or is it something you just have? Or is it something you have and you know about it right away?
And I believe that love is something that you have, you know what I'm saying? Because it's natural. Well, for me, it's
Right.
natural. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody else. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Right.
I believe that love saves though. I believe that love saves.
Mm.
You know? Yeah, I believe
You
that.
think it? Do you believe it's a such thing as love at first sight?
You asked me that question. Wow. Oh man. Whew. Now I'm like, I gotta be careful how I say this word. Look, do I believe that to be love at first sight? It depends on the individuals. You know what I'm saying? Me, like, you had to spend time with that person. You got to have a bond with that person. And for others, that right there, that oh, he is the one, she's the one. You know what I'm saying?
Now, see,
Yeah.
that's crazy because I've heard that in movies and in real life that people say, "Oh, it was love at first sight." Now, for me, it's like, can you say you love somebody at first sight if you don't know nothing about them, right? I think that's I truly think that's lust. Like you're infatuated,
Mhm.
you're in lust with somebody, you're attracted to somebody, and then once you get to know them, that's when them feelings develop. Because love is about feelings, right? So if you haven't developed
Yeah,
those feelings, how can you love somebody, right? But a lot of people say it was love at
exactly.
first sight. I got family members that have been married since they was teenagers, and they say it was love at first sight. So I don't know.
Mhm.
I maybe when people say that, they don't mean it literally. I'm gonna start asking people that say that. I'm like, do you mean that in a literal sense? Because yeah, like I said, if you don't know that person, you don't know nothing about them, you haven't lived with them, you have that that chemistry is not there. Like how's it love at first sight? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes people go on a first date and then they be like, "Oh, I'm in love with you." Like, that's crazy. How many dudes have you known or heard of that told a girl, "I love you" within a week, and then that girl was like, "Oh, his motherfucker is crazy."
Oh man, look. Look now. I'm kind of like, yeah, yeah,
And that's the thing.
yeah. Look,
Us,
yeah,
we as men is we different, bro. Because when a woman said to us, we don't look at it like, "Oh, she weird." We look at it like, "Oh yeah, she wants something," or "Oh
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
she wants
Hmm.
to a love." Oh yeah, I'm definitely smashed. I'm definitely gonna hit the like. That's the way we look at things, and it's just crazy, man. But yeah, women based on it's crazy because you say women are built on emotions, right? But then as soon as you throw that love word to them, they freak the fuck out. It's almost like when
Yeah.
women get the cold feet at a wedding and they walk the fuck out. It's weird. That's why I said love itself is so strange, right? It's strange.
Mhm.
All right,
Wow.
so we're gonna shift gears a little bit. We're gonna go into segment two when we talk about family.
Let's
All right.
go.
So I'm gonna lead off with this. How family are you family oriented?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so okay, so you close to your family, like so your family live close by.
Yeah, and I got some that's yeah, I mean across the world too, but most of them is close by.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, so look, so you don't have kids, right? But I'm still can ask you some of the questions. I have some that's like it's based on like parenting, right? But like
Okay.
I know you don't have kids, but you can still speak on it in the sense that like you was a kid and you're you know you got parents obviously, so you can look at things from that aspect, right? So when parenting, right, is it better to be strict or the better to be lenient with your kids?
Oh man, now I'm trying to think about this one. Oh man, strict or lenient?
Right.
Can I use both?
So see, all right. So not really, because I'm saying because when I say is it better to be so sure you might feel like both of them are equally important, but like which one is it? Which one is better to be strict or be lenient?
To be to be lenient. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I say that because if you're strict like that, that
Hmm.
child going grow up or get a little, I mean, older and going to want to do stuff that he or she ain't never do. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Right.
So I had to go with lenient. You know what I'm saying?
Len- you said it's better to be lenient.
Lenient. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with lenient on that one.
Okay, so let me dissect this a little bit. For me, see, so like I said, I'm a dissect both, and then I'm a choose one, right? So the problem with being lenient is, right, if you're too lenient, then you're not really teaching your kids about life, right? Because you're too lenient, you're being too soft on them. So as they get older, they subjected to you being lenient all the time. They're going to take life for granted, right? So that's the
Right.
difficulty you face with being too lenient, and then they act like the
Yeah.
world is old to them. They feel like everything should be handed
Mm.
to them, and that's what comes with being too lenient. Now, when you're being too strict, see, it's just where it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Parents
See?
that's too
Yeah.
strict, their kids grow up to be disobedient. They start to be rebellious, and they don't listen to you. And
Hmm.
then that fucks up the family dynamics of things like arguments, right? It's a lack of communication in the house, and that's where a lot of
Yeah.
abuse come from because now you're trying to be too strict on them. And the thing is, they're gonna find every way possible not to be home or not to be around you. And like I said, that fucks up the whole family dynamic. That fucks up your chemistry. It fucks up the flow of things, and so it's tough. Now, for me to choose one, is it better to be lenient or is it better to be strict? Um, I'm gonna go with being strict, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. Like, sure, I know there's a lot of negatives that comes with being too strict, right? But there's pros and cons to everything in life. I'd rather be
Hmm.
strict on my kids and prepare them for adulthood, right?
Right.
I'd rather them learn the hard truth and get the discipline in home in the household as opposed to going out in the streets and getting it from somebody else. Because like if I don't teach them these
That makes
valuable
sense.
lessons and they go out in the streets and let the streets teach them these valuable lessons, they're either gonna be in jail or they're gonna be dead. And I don't want that for them. So I'd rather be strict in the house and deal with the problems that might come with that, the fallback, the
Mhm.
pushback, because as a family, as a father, right, I am going
Right.
to do
Hmm.
everything in my power to rectify the situation. I'm gonna do everything in my power to resolve the conflicts in the house. I'm always gonna have open communication with my kids. So sure, it's gonna be pushback, but you're gonna get pushback no matter where you go. When you go to work, it's
Yeah.
pushback.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd rather deal with
You
that
right.
in the house and stand
Hmm.
10 toes down and just be strict. That's for me.
They're
I
not
don't, I don't I
there.
don't want my
Yeah.
kids. I don't want my kids to take life for granted.
Yeah. And like strict. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna nip this in the butt. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Because I believe that my parents were strict, but they also let me learn some stuff that I had to learn on my own too. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I could say that my parents wasn't my best friend. I can say that.
Mm,
So
mm,
so and that's why I said lean first because because man, it's like, all right, you want that child to learn, but at the same time though, in what form do you want them to learn? And when I nit strict in the butt, I thought about me. I thought about my siblings. You know what I'm saying? And we got prayer for life. Yeah, I mean either way. So
right,
it's pros and cons to it. So that's why I had to nip both in the butt. Like, yeah,
right. So you say you and your parents wasn't the best of friends. So you saying your parents were strict on you?
yeah. But like when I say that they wasn't our friend, like they just ain't let us like do what we want. You know what I'm saying? They was
Mm,
parents first.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
oh,
were your parents religious?
yeah, you know what I'm saying. But I believe that was like more of my mom. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
As far as my dad, like he just was there. You know what I'm saying? So I was blessed to have both parents. I can't speak for everybody. So that was
Right.
the blessing right there.
That's what's up. Yeah, but both parents is always a great thing in the household, man. Like I grew up in a broken home, and I know how that feels. And the people that was around me, right, that had broken homes, I
Hmm.
know what they had to go through. And I made a vow to myself that I was gonna not have a broken home when I have kids. So when I have kids, and like, sure, the relationship with my kid's mother wasn't the greatest, but like I don't believe in broken home. I believe that once you have kids, you do whatever everything in your power to make it work for the sake of the kids, you know what I'm saying? And growing up, I used to hate when guys used to say, I'm only in the relationship because we got kids. I used to hate that. But now that
Oh,
I have kids,
yeah.
I understand things, and I look at things through a different lens. Like it's hard, man, because no man want their kids around another woman. And I think a woman feels the same thing. They don't want their kids around I mean, no
Hmm.
man want their kids around another man, and then the woman don't want their kids around another woman. And that's a difficulty factor in itself. And then it's like when you try
Yes.
to co-parent, it's tough. Now, a lot of men out there, and I hate to say it, but a lot of men, especially specifically black men, for some reason, they're absent in their kids' lives. So the fathers, right, that's actually productive and they're active in their kids' lives, they deep down inside they would prefer to have custody. And the mothers, even if they're not fit to be a mother, they don't never want to give up their kids. They want to keep their kids. So then now y'all at war with each other, right? And it's one of those things. It's,
Hmm.
it's very difficult. So shout out to all the men that's there for the kids and they support them and they provide, man. Because like I said, a lot of
Should I
men they
say?
don't care. They get out that relationship and they be like, fuck them kids, right? And that's something I can never do. Um,
Right, most
so
definitely.
do you think children should have more say so in their upbringing? Like, do you think they should
Whew.
have more input in how they're raised and decision making in the household, or do you believe that a kid should stay in a place and then the parents dictate everything?
I would believe that the kids have with me because I work with kids. I work with teenagers. I believe that they have a voice just like us. You know what I'm saying? I believe we have to meet them where they at too.
Mm.
You know,
That's interesting.
and yeah, you know, and I say all that you know what I'm saying because how can we both be successful in
Right,
this thing called life?
right,
You know what I'm saying? So so it's just like let's just talk, you know, because some kids don't like to be yelled at.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Some kids just want you to like just to come and talk to them.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Because
right,
you don't know what they go through throughout the day, and we really don't. So why come home to some more uh to some more ruckus? You know what I'm saying?
right, right. So speaking about kids, do you one day want kids or no?
I do. I'm
Okay,
not even gonna lie. Yeah, I do.
All right. So let's say you have kids, right? And you have
Hmm.
your own way of structuring the household, and your kid come to you one day and say, "Hey, Dad, like I think you're being too harsh. I think you should stop doing this. I think you should meet me in the middle." What you're telling me is you think that you will go to your son or your daughter and like, you know what, you're right. Like let's have this open conversation and let's just have this open. So you believe it basically. What I'm getting from what you're saying is you believe it should be not just me being your parent, it should be friend and parent.
Yeah, and I say that because me, like I believe the teacher just came out, but still, like I seen a lot of success in that. You know what I'm saying? Because one of my friends, she's a teacher, right? And
Right,
she doing a good job with hers. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
right,
ugh, interesting.
right,
Like you use the stuff that you were taught into the household.
right, right,
Okay, I like I see it. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. Should families have a set agreement on managing finances, or should they just handle money as it come their way?
To me, it's all about how you handle your money.
Right,
It's about
right,
how you handle money. I think, well, I'm not gonna say I think, but that's very important. Yeah, I
right.
mean, especially in 2025, in today's society, how the world going, how the economy is, how prices is going up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Gas, food. So it's
right,
important
right.
to manage your money.
Yeah, it's very important to manage money, right? But like as far as having a set agreement on where the expenses are going to go, I don't really believe in that because what if you get laid off, then that's going to change the
Mm-mm.
dynamic of things. Or what if your hours get cut and you can't always provide that set amount, right? I think that to try to have a set agreement, and if you can't live up to that, I think that's when the arguments and the discourse comes from. So I don't think that it should be a set agreement. I think it should be more so the agreement should be we're gonna provide together. We're gonna chip in and we're gonna do what we gotta do to provide and keep a stable uh household, right? That's where I think the agreement should come in. And I think you should just deal with money as it comes, right? Because I believe
Mhm.
in being spontaneous, right? So I believe that sometimes you might say, fuck it. I just got paid today. I want to go treat myself. I want to go buy the outfit. Or I want to go do this. Or let's go to dinner. Or you might want to do dinner 4 days out the week, right? So
I
I
had
think
days like that.
yeah. And the
Look,
thing
I
is,
had days like that.
and now earlier when we was talking about love and stuff and relationships, we was saying about how you got to keep that spark. You got to always be adventurous. You got to find that entertainment in love and relationships, right? So it's the same thing, right? Because in a household, same thing. It's being spontaneous, sitting there and say, you know what, fuck it.
Mhm.
We got some money. Let's just go do this today. And guess what? That brings smiles. That brings joy. It brings happiness. And I think
Yes, it
as
does.
long as your bills is being paid, it shouldn't be no set agreement because nobody wants to argue, right? If somebody say they
Right.
wake up and they want to argue, something wrong with them. They need to get checked into a sane asylum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hmm.
So that's my standpoint on that, right? Now when we talk about work and family, right? How do we
Hmm.
find the right balance between work and family? Because that's a tough one. Because before you answer that, my thing is, I was a kitchen manager and we was required to work 50-hour weeks, but I was doing like 55, 60 at times, and it was an hour, 10-minute commute. So it was an hour, 10 minutes there, hour, 10 minutes back. So
Oh
you
wow.
know, so it's like 2.5 hours for the commute. Add that on 50, 55, 60 hours a week. You know what I'm saying? That's potentially 63 and a half hours in the week. So I didn't know what a quality of life meant anymore. Like it was hard for me, right? So it's like
Mhm.
I came home. So when I left, my kids was either asleep or on their way to school, and I was leaving. When I come home, my kids was asleep. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted
Mhm.
me time at time, and my kid's mom, she wanted quality time, and I'm like, damn, I just was on my feet all day. I just want me time, right? And she didn't believe in me time in a relationship. So that's why I asked you the question, right? When it comes to work and it comes to family, how do you find that right balance?
How do I find that right balance? Oh man, work. You know what I'm saying? Well, when I come home, well, I don't have nobody, but when I come home, like I just like to have my peace. You know, for like a good hour or two, probably like 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll spend time with my family. You know what I'm saying? I'll hang with them. I'll watch like TV with them. You know what I'm saying? Or if my sisters or my brothers is around, I'll go hang with them. You know what I'm saying? Because when I come home, you ain't gonna get Breon. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get somebody that been on their feet since 8:30 to 4 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get the tired one. Just let me just recharge for like an hour or two. Then let's talk.
Uh,
Let's go out. Let's hang. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Vice versa with my nieces and my nephews. Yo, like let chill for like an hour or two. I'll get with y'all. You feel me?
Hmm.
Yeah.
So all right.
And they
So
do that.
all right. So you believe in spending alone time too. Is what it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Very
So
important.
so like I said, it is hard to find that family time or versus work. Like it's hard to find that balance. Like for me, it was it was hard because when I'm at work, I just want to lay up under my girl. I want to be around my kids. I want to play around with them. But by the time I hit them doors, I just want to sip
Hmm.
on something. I just want to relax. I don't want to hear no noise, no drama, no arguing, no nothing. Right. So like it was very hard to find that balance. Right. But I think that like I think to find that balance it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of communication. It takes a lot of patience. Right. Because it's the thing. I know a lot of people sit there and say, I'm not going to let my job interfere with my relationship. Well, guess what? If you put your relationship over your job and then you lose your job because your decision, then how can you provide? Right. So I feel like,
Right.
it's as shitty as it is. I think that work should always come before family and stuff. Right. Because in essence, it's not really coming before them because that's your means of providing. Right. So I think that it should always be like a 60-40, anyways. 60%.
Hmm.
You should dedicate 60% of your day, your time, and your life to work, and then 40% to not even 40%. I would say at least 30% to the family in the house, and then 10% to yourself. I think it should be structured something like that, and that's difficult for a lot of people, right? And
Right.
well, now as you get older, it should be easier. But a lot of times, what happens is when you get older, you reflect on your life and you say, "Well, damn, I ain't really accomplished nothing in life. What did I do? What do I have to show for it?" And I think it's a mindset, right? And I think that's what hinders us, right? We and now when we think about that, I'm like, damn, man. Or you look at a friend or a family member or somebody that's done so much more than you have or accomplished so much more. Now
Hmm.
you want to accomplish more. Now you want to do other things to the point where now you're at war with yourself and you're causing problems not only for yourself but for your loved ones and the people that's around you because now you got a chip on your shoulder. They might just want to have dinner with you and you're trying to push them aside and they don't understand why and you feel like you understand why, right? So one thing we
Hmm.
got to stop doing in life is like comparing ourselves to other people's situations,
Yeah.
and we just got to be
Yeah.
understanding, right? And like you said, it starts with self. You got to love yourself. You got to know who you are as a person, and you just got to adjust. You got to pivot.
Exactly.
You got to know how to get in and get out. You got to get in where you fit in. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say it's very hard to find that balance between work and home life. But I think again, going back to the mindset thing, I think you have to have that mindset that like it's going to be primarily work, then family, and then you're last. Just like a lot of times we have kids, like as a parent, you make sure they're good, and you don't even think about yourself. Right? Like the other day, I just spent like $400 on my kids, not intentionally. I said I was going to spend a little bit of money. I wound up spending a lot of money, and then I got home and I'm like, "Well, damn, what did I do for myself?" Right? And
Right.
those are those sacrifices and stuff, man. And I take solace in the fact that my loved ones and people that's around me that I care about, when they're happy, I'm happy. Right?
Right.
So a lot of
I heard
times I
that.
might want me time, but when they're happy and I'm happy, I'm at peace with myself, and that's my me time. Watching them and seeing them happy. So,
Hmm. That's what's
alright, that's how
about.
Imma leave that. So, how should parents deal with sibling rivalry? I don't know if you and your brothers and sister bump heads, but if y'all did, how do you think parents should deal with that? Do you think
Oh
they should come in
man.
between that and try to fix it, or do you think that parents should be like, kids gonna be kids, they gotta figure it out themselves?
All right. This has pros and cons because like that just made me laugh. All right. So the pro part about that is, is the the uh the parenting part because I believe us as parents or as uncles and aunts, you know what I'm saying, mom and dad. I believe that we want to come in there and just break it up. I mean, that is the pro part because that is so like that's in our nature. You know what I'm saying? But it's also the cons that's to it. You know what I'm saying? And I say all that because it's because I look at it like this. They're not gonna be mad at each other forever. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
And plus, that's just in that's in the house. You know what I'm saying? Now it's what you do out there. Is you really gonna ride for your brother? Is you really gonna ride for your sister when it goes down out there? You know what I'm saying? Out in the
right,
streets or out in the
right.
world. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it like a little practice. You
Okay.
know, look,
So,
yeah.
so you think the parents should step in, or just stay out of it?
Like I said, there's pros and cons. Step in, step in
Okay.
to a certain,
Now,
step into a certain extent. Yeah, I wanted to
okay.
word that right.
So yeah, so for me, I would say that, like, I think the way parents deal with sibling rivalry is let them sort that out themselves, right? Because we ain't always gonna be there to hold their hand. And I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that as parents, long as we preach or teach family values, or the meaning of love, right? That's one thing. My kids, but they bump heads all the time. I let them figure it out because they're brothers at the end of
Right.
the day. As long as I constantly tell them, listen, that's your brother, that's your sister. Love on each other,
Hmm.
because at the end of the day,
Love
that's
on
all
each
you
other.
got. When you get older, right? That's who you got. Those are your real friends.
Exactly.
Forget everybody else. So as far as when they argue, listen, as long as they ain't put holes in the wall and all that, I let them sort that out. Right now,
Exactly.
if they even if they get in a fight or something, they fighting. I might sit there and watch them. Now I'll intervene if it gets too drastic, and then, what I'm
Hmm.
saying. But I'm gonna let them swing it out. I'm gonna let them do what they got to do, right? Because, hey,
Right.
if you correct it in the house, the only thing you doing is maintaining the peace in the home. But guess what? What happens when they go out in the streets, and then they got conflict with somebody else? So I think
Absolutely.
your first lessons in life comes from your mother, then your mother and your father, and then everything else that's in your household. So the greatest lesson you can learn from dealing with it on your own is you get tired of it after a while, and you learn that fighting is not the answer. So now when you get in the real world, you get in these streets, you should know how to deal with conflict better, because you done did that with your
Right.
brothers and sisters. Now you like, that wasn't the way. That's not it. And now when you get in the streets, you should be humble enough to be like, you know what? I'm either going to walk away, or we could talk this out. I don't want conflict, because when you have conflict, what
Right.
do you get out of? What are you getting out of fighting? You just gonna go to jail, or you're gonna end up dead. Someone gonna stomp you the fuck out, like, you know what I'm saying? Or they
Right.
gonna call their
Hmm.
family members. You're gonna call your family members. Now you got
Exactly.
World War IV. So it's no benefit in that. I look at life as either a detriment or benefit, right? So that's
Hmm.
how I assess any situation. Is it gonna benefit me, or is it gonna be a detriment? If I can't see a
Come on.
benefit in it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk away from it. You know what I'm saying? That's just who I am.
I
Um,
heard that. Yeah.
should we keep family traditions, or should we change family traditions?
Keep them, man. Keep them. You know what I'm
Keep family
saying?
traditions. And what made you go that route?
Because I feel as though uh that not this is is everything, and you may want to pass that on. You know
Mm,
what I'm saying? And I feel as though that somebody will take heed for the next generation, or they may not. but I say
Right.
keep it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's very important. And I think in 2025, in today's world, that's what we are missing
Right.
in every community.
Right.
Yeah, in every community is that right there. You know what I'm saying? Missing
Right.
that.
Now, what if
Yeah.
you believe and you value your family traditions, right? And you get in a relationship and your girlfriend want to start. She say, big, nah, those we starting a new family. Say you got kids with this woman. She's like, no, it's a new family, right? In your new family, you should be focused on building new traditions and not try to carry on these other ones, right? So, what do you say to that?
Oh man, what will I say to it?
Yeah. Would you tell her, listen, this is my family and it's been around for generations, or would you submit to your girl and say, you know what, you're right, I'm willing to compromise. Let's just change the family traditions.
Once again, you know what I'm saying? Gotta keep that spark. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'll try to like mix it up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'll try to mix it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that I'm with my best friend and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let's mix it up. Yeah, I mean, let's try something new. You may not like it, or you may like it. Then you may not like it, but just try. At least try.
So you
That's
say
all I
you would
ask you
try
to
her
do.
ways? You would try her ways, or you would tell her to try your family traditions, or you ask her to try to stick with that?
Oh man, I'll ask her to try. I'll definitely ask her to try mine just to
Mm.
see where her head at. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we can mix it up with hers because I know that she may have something that she may want to do. So why not try and lab that together? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
That could be sort of something new.
Right.
Why not?
So yeah, so that was a very interesting question for me because like so in my household, we don't really have family traditions, really, to be honest with you. My father's
Hmm.
side, they all they care about is church. So their tradition is just stay religious, stay walking in faith. And my mom's side, like we didn't really have traditions, but I was around other families that did have traditions, right? So for me, it's easy to change traditions, start my own tradition. Now I got my own family, right? So now, if I had family traditions, right, that was passed down, I think that I would probably still lead to changing traditions for the simple fact that, like, you got your family, right? And once you get married or you have kids with a woman, then that becomes your new family, right? Now, with your new family, everything should be new. Keyword is new, right? So I think that your traditions should be
Yeah.
new. You should focus
Hmm.
on that family, your new family. So when it comes to traditions, yes, you build on new traditions because guess what? That's that chemistry and that's that bond that's going to hold you together. That's that glue that's going to keep you all together. So when you create family memories like that, that's something between you and your new family, right? And it shouldn't be
Hmm.
a branch off to the rest of your family because the things you do with your girlfriend, you ain't gonna do with your brothers and your sisters and your mother. So for me, if I did have
Yeah.
family traditions, I think I would want to change them. I would want to create my own. It's sort of like
Mhm.
once you become a man, you get out there in the real world, you got to become your own man. Your mom and your
Most
daddy can't
definitely.
hold your hand no more. You got to pave your own way. You gotta
Right.
you gotta build on your own legacy. You gotta walk your own path. So I think
Hmm.
essentially that's what I was saying I would do with the whole tradition thing. Um,
Right. Definitely.
what family values are most important to instill into children?
Wow. Oh man. I believe that knowledge is that's very important. You know what I'm saying? So that they can know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And if you look at the word knowledge, it has the word know. So you have to know what to do. You have to
Hmm.
know how to navigate in this world. You just have to know.
Yeah.
Like just use that as a guidance. Like knowing is very important. And knowing is half the battle.
Right. Okay.
You know,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I got you. So yeah, family values that's most important to instill in the children. I mean, I think one of the first things should have been respect, right? Respect. That's a value
yeah,
that kids need to know. Respect, um,
hmm
loyalty,
hmm
um, yeah, and just yeah, that I'm not going to say anything about religion because, like I said, I'm not really religious. I believe in a higher power, but I don't believe in God as He's
right,
described in the Bible. So I think loyalty, respect, and honor, really, right? Like you know, respect of mother, your mother, right? Because and when it comes down to you being in a relationship with somebody, that's the first thing a woman's going to look for. How do you treat your mother? How do you talk to your mother? How do
right,
you address your mother? You know what I'm saying? So I'm a little rough around the edges when it comes to mine, but thankfully I haven't never had a problem with relationships. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
right,
gonna say problems as in like it's always peachy, but I'm talking about like as far as getting in a relationship, maintaining a relationship.
hmm
So that's never really been a
right,
problem. I probably had 3 women in my life that said they ain't want nothing to do with me because the conflict I have with my mother. But that's neither here nor there. But
hmm
like I think respect for self, respect for your mother is vital. It's definitely key, right? Because you gotta look at the
it
big
is.
picture. And like I said, when it's time for you to settle down, women are going to look at that. It's one of the first things women look at. How do you talk to your mom? How do you address her? How do you respect her? How do you love on your mom? Right. And that's it. Like I said, for anybody, whether male or female, your first teachers in life is your mother. Your first guidance in life is your mother. That's your first
Right,
instructor, your first, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, the mothers, they carry you and without you even knowing, like when you come out the womb, you already got that attachment to your mother. And I think that has a lot to
right,
do because she carried you. You've been in her stomach, right? Like that's whenever you talk, whenever you sleep, your sounds, your movements, they're getting conditioned to that, right? So yeah, those
yeah,
those values, like I said, respect and honor of your mother and yourself are the key things for me. Now, this is another one that I don't really do, but it's something I want to do moving
hmm
forward in my household. So, like, should family meals be a priority? Right? When I mean like family meals, like you think like when you have dinner, like it should be a family thing. Do you think you should
most definitely.
prioritize? Okay, is that something that you did
Yeah.
growing up? Like y'all ate dinner together, y'all ate breakfast together.
Well, me I don't know about eight the breakfast part together, but we was always there around dinner time. Have we sat at the table? No. Mm-mm. But we was always there at the right time. Though it's like we was, yeah, I'm always there at the right time.
Right.
You know. So that's how I look at that one.
So, like I said, it's something I don't do, but I definitely want to do that. I definitely want to say, listen, we make breakfast. Whoever's awake, this is breakfast time. We eat together. When it's dinner time, whoever's present, whoever's in the house, this is dinner time. We do this as a family, right? And I don't
hmm
I don't necessarily want to say we're gonna pray over dinner because because I'm not really religious. I don't want to be praying if I don't really believe, right? But I think we should come together as a family, right? Because you got to build that camaraderie, you got to build that connection, that bond, and that's something when you talk about in your household, it should never fade away. It should never get old. Is that love, right? You should always
hmm
love on each other and make each other feel important and valued. And I think that's family meals bring bridges that gap and bring y'all closer together. So I think, like I said, I think that's important. I think people should prioritize family meals, right? I think, yeah, like I said, and I know it'll make me feel better because it's like then in my whole life, it was like I eat when I wanted to eat. Like this person eat, they might eat in the living room. This person might eat in the kitchen. This person might eat in their car, and it's like a wedge. It's like a disconnect, right? Why not just come together, right? You might laugh together, you might joke together. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Just feel good together, and that's why I say that's moving forward. That's something I want to do. I want to
Nice.
prioritize family meals. Um, all right. So let me ask you this: how can we improve family communication?
Communication. Look, you know what I'm saying? Like you
Improve it. You
just
got to
said it.
make it better. You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah,
can we
yeah,
improve
you
on
know.
it?
Oh man, I believe that just have like a set time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Like yeah, just have a set time for like stuff. You know,
right.
that's like that's the only thing that I could really like think like think of is just a set time. You know, it could be like 5 or 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Half hour to an hour.
And what are you
You
doing
know,
in that time? What are you doing in that time to make it better?
we could talk. You know, uh, yeah, like we could talk. We could have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you need to get some stuff off your chest, just do it now. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right. Now,
Because
now,
go ahead.
oh no, I was like, for me, it's like it's for the most part, it's all about showing up. Right? It's
Yeah,
basically what you
really.
just said, how you need something to get off your chest, like just showing up, just letting you being available for that person, right?
Yeah,
Um,
that's all.
that's how you can improve on communication. That's whether that's in your household or outside your household. Just showing up,
That's anyway.
saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
I'm here. I'm available. You need me, I'm here. You need to talk, I'm here. You need a shoulder, you need an
Right.
ear, I'm here." So for me, yeah,
It's
that's the first step. It's just showing up, being
just
available.
showing up, man.
Um, so how should household chores be divided?
How should they be divided?
Yeah.
That's a good one. How should they be divided? How should household chores be divided? Dag, I don't know. That's
Let-
a good
So,
question.
so let's
That's
start here.
good.
Did your parents have you and your siblings doing chores?
Nah, like if we seen like some stuff like out of place, we put it in place. Probably because that was just us. We was just like
Right.
to have things neat. Yeah.
But your parents never say, "Hey, you got to do chores," or "Did you do your chores?" Or
Nah,
you can't. Okay.
nah,
So
nah.
I,
Nah.
for me, occasionally I had
Why?
chores. It wasn't a consistent thing in my household. But
Right.
now for me, how do I think that chores should be divided? I think right, like the oldest should take on more responsibility, right? Because we should, as
Mhm.
parents, we should be grooming our kids for the real world, right? So the older
Yeah.
you are, the more you should take on, right? Like say if it's a household of four, okay, well, the oldest maybe they have five chores they got to do, right? And depending on their
Hmm.
age, and and so on and so forth. Now you also got to give them chores that they're going to be capable of doing. But like I think that that's how it should be divided. Like the older you are, you take on more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And you got to groom your kids to be nourishers or be leaders, right? Like I would want my oldest to be a leader to his brothers, right? And so on and so forth. It should be a domino effect, right? So yeah. And that's another thing I don't do, but I'm going to start doing it. They gonna start doing chores
Right.
because I got to prepare them for the real world. Because a lot of times, what you
Yes.
see here is kids they live carefree. They so used to asking mommy and daddy for this and asking for that.
Hmm.
What is
Yeah.
this?
Oh, that is one of my folks. That's my boy Ty Runwich from the Tender Life podcast. What's up, Ty? That's my
So
guy.
what's up? Appreciate you for stopping by. Like
Appreciate
I
it,
said,
man.
that's another thing that I plan on implementing in my household is chores, right? Because my kids they think everything need to be handed to them. We every time you go to a store, they ask for something. They have a temper tantrum when you tell them no, and I can't have that,
Mhm.
right? So
Right.
I'm going to give them the opportunity to work for some money. And then occasionally I still
That's
spoil them
good.
from time to time and make them feel like, hey, listen, I'm here. I know because like sometimes your kids, even when they get in the real world, they're not gonna have the best of jobs and they might not have all the money. So to bless them here and there with stuff, it's nothing wrong with that. So that's definitely what I want to implement. I'm gonna prioritize family meals and I'm going to
Mm,
uh, implement chores, right?
that's good.
Because
Right.
that's important. Um, All right, so we're gonna move into. Let me see. Good afternoon. We're going to move into segment number three, where we just talk about
Okay.
success, right? Let me
Okay.
see. Peace and blessings. Appreciate you. Now, success is a big one. Now, before I ask you the first question, right? Like, do you feel like you're successful, or you feel like you're still growing and trying to get to that point?
I feel as though that I'm already successful.
And how so?
I believe so because like I'm, I am here. You know what I'm saying? I'm I'm in the right mind. I got my limbs here. Like just being here is part of being successful. Just
Mm,
being alive is. I know that's deep, but that's that's really something to me. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because you could take all this from me. I'm I'm still me. You know what I'm
right,
saying? I can get it back again. You
right,
feel
right.
me?
I got you. Now, something I meant to ask you earlier. Now that it's apropos that we talk about success because we talk about success, and I mentioned in your intro that you're owner of your own clothing line. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, timeless inspired. Wow, that came in 2020. No, that came in 2016. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
Man, it was just a start. You know what I'm saying? I was just like messing around. You know what I'm saying? I told my big sister that I'm ready for this clothes, and I so Timeless Inspired was the name, but that wasn't the first brand from off of Timeless Inspired. The
it's
first
called
brand was
Timeless Inspired.
Timeless Inspired. Yeah. And the first brand from all Timeless Inspired was Virtue is Powerful. You know what I'm saying? So when I got my first shirt and my first hoodie, I'm like, oh, this look good. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
So a
right,
lot of folks and and it had like a nice little run. Like folks asked me about it. Folks like order some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And I haven't done it in a while because life happens. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
I'm definitely gonna get back to getting like more stuff now. You know what I'm saying? Because when I say folks act like actually liked it, I said, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I may have to start off small, but it's cool though. Start small and save money. Cool. I don't mind.
Right. Now, when
You
you say
know?
your own clothing line, right? Were you designing, like, was you drawing up what you wanted the design to be, or was it a logo and you was getting it screen printed? Like, how did that work out?
It was a low goal, and my sister she knew somebody that could draw. You know what I'm saying? So once I found out that, I'm like, I bet. So she shared the idea with me. You know what I'm saying? What the guy had drew, and I
Right.
was like, that's the one. They are the ones that I want right there. You know what I'm
Okay. Okay.
saying?
Shout out to your sister.
So yeah, since I was like, I already bet I want those two. you
So
know,
your sister. So would you say that your sister is your business partner, or did you look at it like she just alley oop me these ideas and it's your line, your business?
look, look, man. I tell like all my siblings, right? Like we are a team. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I thank God for the connections that they give me. You know what I'm saying? Like the stuff that they provide. And vice versa, that I'll provide if they need it.
Right. 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 Okay. So, all right. Let
Yes.
me ask you this:
So
Is success primarily determined by hard work or by luck?
I would believe by hard work
How so?
because I say that because things take time,
Mm.
and I say that because all right, prime example. Jordan A win his first ring his first year. that took time, right? To win his first
right,
ring. Then
right,
it went on, went on. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So I look at it as that type of ass atlas that Rome was and built. Yeah, I mean overnight. The
right,
Great Wall of China wasn't built overnight. You know what I'm saying?
right, right, right. I got you. Yeah. So I kind of feel like nothing's. Well, I do. It is a such thing as luck, but as far as when it comes to success, I don't think it's by luck, right? Because at the end of the day, you got to put in the work, right? Like so,
Yes.
like how can success be measured by luck, right? You got to put the work in. As long as you put the work in, right? And as long as you want it and you're determined, you're driven. I think that's where success comes from. So for me, yes, absolutely. It's primarily determined by hard work, right? You might luck up and find a connection, and you might be like, somebody might say, "Oh, you lucky," because if you didn't find this person, or if you didn't bump into this person, it wouldn't have happened, right? But this is the thing: you might have got lucky and ran into the right people, but guess what? They only take you but so far. After that, you have to put in the work. At the end of the day, you got to put in
Yes.
that work.
You
So,
got to.
all right. So, is financial wealth the most important measure of success?
Is it the most important part? I would say
Right,
yes, because you have to have it. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to like have that money to like start off. You know what I'm saying?
right.
You gotta have some type of foundation. You feel me?
Okay, right. So, all right. So, see, is financial wealth the most important measure of success? Let me see. Um, I think before the financial aspect for me, I think it's your will and your determination. I think that's more important than the finances, right? Because you have to have a plan, right? Like, what good is having money if you don't have a plan? You know what I'm saying? You got the money, but you starting at A, you want to get to Z, but you don't know how to, you know what I'm saying? But you skipping over these
Right.
other, you know what I'm saying? So I think
Most definitely.
a discipline and determination should be more important, right? You know,
Hmm.
because from there you got to have a plan, and it's no plan if you're not determined, right? Again, we go back to the hard work. If you
Hmm.
don't know how to put that work in, you're lost. You're dead in the water. So yeah, for me, it's willpower, determination. You need that before you need to focus on money. You know.
Yeah. No.
Let's see. Um, does age play a role in achieving success?
No. Not if you have that will. Nah.
Got you.
You know. Nah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's never
Yeah.
too late, man. It's never too late. And
Right.
I tell folks that it's never too late to be successful, man.
Right. Right. Yeah. So that's one of those tricky things because some people might look at it like, with age it comes wisdom, right? And some people might be like, the wiser you are, the more successful you'll be. But that's not always the case. Um, I think when it comes to success, it starts with your household and how you was raised, your upbringing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
How are you taught by your parents, right? What values did
Yeah.
they instill in you? And so I think that definitely plays a part in it.
Hmm. It
Um,
do.
because you could be 40, 50, 60 years old and you ain't get that guidance and that structure growing up in your household. Again, you'll be dead in the water. You don't know how to get from A to B because you were
Hmm.
stagnant. You wasn't taught these necessary things, right? So I
Right.
don't think like age really plays a role in achieving success. I think, like I said, it starts with parenting, it starts with your household, and then it starts with you, right? Or
Right.
maybe it starts with you
Hmm.
first because you got to be able to listen to your parents. You got to be able to listen to those instructions. So yeah. So I would say yourself, and then your upbringing, how you was raised in the household, right? Those are key things. Now
Most
this is a
definitely.
very important one too, because a lot of people
Okay.
do this. So do you think is it ever ethical to cut corners to achieve success?
Nah. Mm, nah. And I say that because I never did that in life. I never did that in school. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So
Yeah, because at the
so
end of the day,
why start now?
yeah, because at the end of the day, taking shortcuts or cutting corners can only take you so far. You know what I'm saying? You might be successful
Yeah,
for a while, but it's that's more of a luck thing. That's going to fade out. It's not going to last forever. You can't keep cutting corners because guess what? Now you get a successful job, right? You got a career, and they know you or they see that you're cutting corners all the time. That lets them know that you don't have no respect. Right, and you have no ethics, you have no moral, you have no integrity.
right.
Because if this is the structure, if this is how it's supposed to be done, and you want to cut corners, you want to cheat because basically that's what it is. Cutting corners is cheating. If you want to cheat the
Yeah,
system, who wants to be around a cheater? It's like in a relationship. Your girl cheated on you. You gonna want her? No. You know what I'm saying? So cheating and cutting corners, people ain't gonna respect that. They're gonna look at it like you don't have no respect for me because these are the rules and the guidelines that I set forth, and you don't want to follow it. How can I trust you, right?
right.
So
Pretty
if you want to
much.
rebel, you want to go against the curriculum, you want to go against the rules. Now you're not trustworthy, right? And what do you have if
Mm,
you don't have trust? So
exactly. That's
for me,
good.
it's never ethical to cut corners, man. And I never wanted to cut corners. If I couldn't get it on the muscle, if I couldn't get it the right way, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? And a
Right.
lot of
Yeah.
people
Pretty much.
they look at it like, oh, I got what I want. Nah, but how long is that going to last? Right? Like the people that sell drugs for a living, they get all this money and they look like a boss and they flashy. But then when they get locked up, all this fame, all these people that was in your circle, everybody that was in your face, now they don't want nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
again, you cut corners. Yeah, it might be good for a moment, but what's a moment when you can have a lifetime?
Right. 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 Right.
So,
You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at
uh,
it too, man.
so is it better to be a good person or to be a successful person?
Wow. Good person.
A
I
good
say that
person,
because I say that because you still have to remain humble. You know
right?
what I'm saying? And
Right.
you could lose success, and then you won't be the town favorite. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
you
Nobody's
could
gonna have.
just
Yeah. Nobody's gonna
and
welcome you with welcome arms. Yeah.
yeah, and where you could be the good person and still have it and be remembered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I once heard this quote, you know what I'm saying, by Allen Iverson, right? He said that I don't want to be great like Jordan and Bird. I want to be remembered as number three. And I said,
Mm.
wow, he just want to be remembered. But this one he gotten older. And I said, wow, he just wanted to be remembered. He don't want to be great like the greats. He just wanted to be like, he just wanted
Remember,
to leave his, yeah.
his legacy.
He
Yeah.
just wanted, yeah. I'm like, that takes a lot of, that takes a man,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
so yeah, for me, I think I would rather be a good person, right? Because this thing, when you're a good person, you're going to attract other good people, right? And when you have good people in your life, they're going
exactly,
to good people are going to put you in the right position to be great or to be better. So for me, that's a win-win, and that's where my success come in. Having the right people in my circle,
exactly.
having that support team,
Hmm.
that support system. So for me, it's better to be a good person because good people are surrounded by good people, and the good people uplift good people. You know what I'm saying? So for
Exactly,
me, I'd rather be a good person than a successful person because, like I said, there's success in that. Right now, it's levels to everything in life, but there's success in having good people in your life. Whereas if you were successful but you was a fucking evil motherfucker and nobody wanted to be around you,
hmm,
that's a
right.
lonely life. That's a
It's
lonely life.
lonely
You
at the
always gonna be
top,
at the
man.
bottom. Hmm. You
Yeah,
always gonna be at the bottom,
man.
and you might be successful,
Always.
but guess what? When you turn to your right, you turn to your left, and you raise your hand, and people be like, "Oh no, nah, get away from me! I don't want nothing to do with you. You can't
You
be
ain't gonna
ugly."
be happy. You cannot
That's
be happy at all.
right.
You ain't gonna be happy
Now,
with it.
is it okay to be successful at the expense of others? You understand that, or I got to break that down for you?
Can you break that down, please?
All right. So some people manipulate others to be successful, or they use people so they could be successful, right? It's like what if somebody was like, oh, this guy's a square, but he come from money. I'm gonna befriend him, or I'm gonna pretend to be his friend, so he can funnel that money my way, so it help me be successful. So my question was like, is it is it okay to be successful at the expense of others? It's like basically use somebody just so you can be on top, or to
No,
manipulate somebody so you can be on top.
no, nah, mm-mm,
Hell no, right? Because that a lot of
no,
times it happens.
no.
That's poor
Wow.
character, right? Yeah, poor character.
Yeah.
You know, and then we got movie actors. We got a lot of people that do it, right? Like it's a lot of rich people that became rich because they've practiced those poor. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. Um, let's see where I want to go with this. Is it more important to be successful or happy?
Happy because you can be successful and be miserable. I'd rather be
Right.
happy,
Okay.
and I say that because I'll be at peace with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that because it's like you should never. I tell people all the time, you should never sacrifice your happiness. You should never sacrifice your state of mind or your mental health or your well being. Right. So yeah, being happy and protecting self should come before any kind of success, any dollar amount, anything like that. Worry about self, right, and worry about your happiness, right? Because like again, it's a lonely world or it's a lonely road when you ain't got nobody to walk that road with you, right? So everybody
Right.
needs that person in their life, right? Because that's how God intended for life to be. You know, you can't we
Hmm.
can't we can't do everything on our own. We need somebody, guidance.
Yes,
We
we
need we
do.
need a helping hand. We need a shoulder. We need an ear. We need all of that. Um,
Hmm.
so in the business world, is networking or skill more important for success? That's
Oh
another tricky
man,
question. Is networking or skill more important for success?
skill,
Skill.
skill,
Oh, I thought you was going. Okay. Oh, why you say that?
because you gotta have the skill to network, right? And everybody don't have skill. You can net, you can net, you can network, but when you networking, that's like a free style to me. But when you have the skill, you know how to go about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay. So like, all right.
Yeah.
So you have the necessary. You have the skills. You have
Hmm.
the tools for success.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, but so I think when you talk about having the skill, I think that's individualized, right? Because that's you. We talk about you. You have the skill.
Hmm.
Chef said skills is a gift. You have the skills, right? That's individual. That means self. You yourself have the necessary tools to make it and be successful. But for me, I'm gonna say networking should stand out more, right? And I'm gonna tell you why. For me,
Hmm.
when you
Okay.
network with people, now you communicate with other people. Now you bouncing ideas off that person, right? Now it's something that we talk about individual. Now you talk about in a group, right? Sometimes it's better. Two minds is better than one. So sometimes they might come up with something that you didn't think of, right? So now they're
Hmm.
helping you with your success. And like I said before, we can't do it all by ourselves, right? So for me, networking is vital. Like for me, like we both do this podcast, right? And
Hmm.
we can get on the podcast and do solos, but we network with people to find guests. We bounce ideas off on. We converse, and that's good for our well being. It's good for our mental health, right? Because now we're not
Hmm.
alone. We have somebody else we can talk to and express ourselves or put out different point of views and stuff like that. So that's all it is. It's networking. Like any business that you enter, right? You're
Hmm.
networking, right? Because you're going business with that person. So for me, I think networking stands out for me because yeah, I'd rather network with multiple people, right? So because we're trying to
Right.
grow this, as opposed to me, because I think it takes more hard work for a single person to
Wow.
try to grow things on their own. That makes sense?
Yeah, yeah. Like I never had that problem. You know what I'm saying? Because like I have cards, you know what I'm saying? And if I'm out, I'll just put like cards on like the shelf at like a store, or I'll pass them out. Like that's networking still, but
Right.
I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah,
skill to
yeah.
me, like just to get it out there. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Right.
because somebody going to go into one of them stores and look and like, oh, let me see this. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Let me see what this is about. You feel me?
So yeah, that's what he said
And
at first.
communicate and communication is a skill. So networking can't be good. Wow, chef going going in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He is
That actually
going
happened to
in.
be my yeah, that
I
happened to
love
be my
it.
older brother. But so I
I
mean, I
love
get what
it.
you're saying. Yeah, yeah. So I feel like I definitely give you something to think about, right? Like, and that's the thing. When we do this, we get on these podcasts, right? And we talk to other people. We learn from other people, and that's what I said at the beginning of the podcast. I like to conversate, I like to educate, and I like to entertain. You know what I'm saying? So I think when I
Mhm.
jump on the platform, I definitely try to educate people, right? And because I try to
Okay.
uplift people, and I try to instill whatever knowledge I have. I try to pour that into the next man or the next woman, right? Because
Mhm.
if it works for me, it'll work for you, or it could work for you, right? And I'm all about helping the next person achieve their goals and achieve success. You know what I mean?
Mm. I
So,
heard that.
anything else you want to
Awesome.
add as far as success?
Nah, man. Look, man. I just tell folks, to just endure, man. Like you could do it when you put your mind to it.
Right.
You know, you keep
Yeah.
faith. You can do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm all about perseverance, man. So like I'll say this to the day I die, man. Like coming on this platform, man, it's very therapeutic, man. It puts a smile on my face and it definitely gives me something to look forward to. Shit, it's crazy because I got another podcast episode early in the morning, and that's gonna be a struggle for me. It's at 9 in the morning, so I'm like,
Oh
sheesh.
man.
Yeah,
Oh
because the
man. I
person
got two
my
tune in. Okay.
my guest is from they in the British summertime. So yeah, it's like
Mhm.
5 hour
Okay.
difference. So I'm like, dang. So I
Oh.
gotta make
Oh.
I'm usually awake
Oh.
anyways, but I gotta
All
go
right.
I gotta go hit my grill off and make sure I'm good and I'm alert. But yeah, I got one tomorrow at 9 in the morning, and then I got another one at Sunday at 11. So like I said, hey, I look forward to it, man. And my phone be going off. A lot of people will be hitting me up and like, hey, I'm trying to book an episode, man. So I love it, man. And I love the fact that I'm able to find different people to network and put different people on my platform. You know what I'm saying? And it's good exposure. And like I said, not just the podcast. It's like I plan on having this food truck, and I think that conversing with all these people, man, like you never know who can help you, right? You never know
Right.
who might come into your life. So it might not be that person, but somebody they know might be able to help you. And that's what I use this platform for, man, to educate people, to entertain people. It's all about self growth, personal growth, growth for anybody else. And it's also, like I said, it's networking, man. It's all about networking. So when I jump off with this food truck thing, man, people gonna know who I am. You know what I'm saying? And then when they taste the food, they gonna definitely know
Same
who I
here.
am. You know
Look.
what I'm saying? So
Look.
I'm a
Vice
businessman.
vice versa. Vice versa, man. That's what it's all about, man.
Right, right, right. So, all right, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it. I mean, everybody got something from this. They gained a little bit more knowledge, a little bit more wisdom. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tune in to tomorrow morning if you so happen to be awake. Tune in at 11 in the morning on Sunday if you're awake. And then next week I haven't really set anything in stone, but I got multiple people that want me to book them for next week. So I definitely put out flyers and people will know when I'm gonna drop something. But until next time, much blessings to you, brother. Have a good day.
Same here, man. You too.
All right.
Peace.